So Shaka Stevens come and say, you know what, I have to protect myself and begin for consolidating power. Because you don't know that bad precedents from Albert Magai of the SLPP. Let me continue. So fearful was Stevens of the threat posed to him by a well-equipped army, he denied the soldiers any proper training and systematically suppressed their fighting capacity. You not trust them again. Bad precedents by Albert Magai. Bad precedents. Now, 105. During Shaka Stevens' rule, all the gains made by Southeasterners and Easterners during the Albert Magai era were reversed. Government had become balkanized in the 1960s as the predominant ethnic group of the ruling party would seek to enrich and aggrandize itself, along with any co-opted members from other ethnic groups. So endemic was corruption that the government was simply expected by all sides to use state resources to advance the interests of its supporters. Exactly what is happening right now under the SLPP. This is what this chapter is explaining right here. That what these guys did, because Shaka Stevens was very fearful of what happened in 1967 and 1968 when Albert Magai brought Inga Norman and Brigadier Lansana to overthrow him. What did they do? It consolidated power so much. Now, young people don't know where Sabi, because Albert Magai started nepotism and tribalism in Sierra Leone of the SLPP. Now he bring corruption to that country, Albert Magai. He bring all in Southeasterners. He can't focus consolidate government. So when they lost the election now, Shaka Stevens say, okay, well, me say I don't Sabi, not trust to now. Remember when President Bio went on 98.1? Where say now that Sabi now they employ? Remember? Where he talk on 98.1? He say what I Sabi now they employ? These are the things that's why they happen. So Albert Magai set the pace, he set the precedent, he set the example, and then Shaka Stevens come and capitalize on them. He said, they aggrandize themselves, and then they use state resources for the supporters them. When you look at what this SLPP is doing, so the people them. All of them they dance for Manabio, clap for whatever they support in London, and they bring I can't get a work. Because he say what I Sabi now they employ. Sierra Leoneans, this is why I'm doing these sessions. This is why I'm taking the opportunity. It's not easy for me to do this, but I have to do it because it's a teaching opportunity. Now, this will be lack. We'll not get people to tell anything there. And with the rise of social media, now we have these opportunities. We have to do these things. This is what we're saying. So when you look at the situation, you look at Shaka Stevens, it co-opted members from other ethnic groups. Now you look at what's happening with, what is this guy's name? Alpha Khan, right? You see how Alpha Khan, because he has been co-opted by the SLPP. So he's coming in. But that is what is happening. So then they take few people no more for them to say, and they include no and nothing and this and that. But that is what is happening, Sierra Leoneans. And this is why I'm teaching these things. Tuba, I'm not going to tell you thank you. But for now, some of you guys are not seeing it yet. But we bring in history. Now, history we get bad governance in Sierra Leone. And we come back here, we allow the SLPP. And these members of parliament, sit on a parliament in the coast, then they allow these guys for damage with democracy. Guys, let me read 105. During Shaka Stevens' rule, right here. During Shaka Stevens' rule, all the gains made by Southeasterners and Easterners during the Albert Magai era were reversed. Because again, it brought all the Southeasterners and that they don't bring kind of government. He ostracized everybody else. So when Shaka Stevens came to power, he reversed all of that nonsense. Instead, pull all my way no Sabi. He pull all the other way not in Southeasterners them. He bring young people away Sabi. Not so in the episode today na salon. Albert Magai beginner. Shaka Stevens he say, you know what? I don't Sabi the way. I don't trust the way. They want to go do anything and go overthrow me. Chisto. Then no can kill me. I can't sit down here. Instead, he go form your military. Bad governance, bad precedents, bad example. Government had become balkanized in the 1960s, and the predominant ethnic group of the ruling party would seek to enrich and aggrandize itself. So the predominant ruling party, the predominant ethnic group of every ruling party, like when you look at SLPP, and that is the terrible thing. And let me break something for you guys. You see, what we need now, Sierra Leone, and this is what Kamrikuta, come up with, and he always says this. I take the quote from her. What we need? Not a regional balance, we need a tribal balance. But if we say na regional balance, that's why when you look at the North has all these tribes. That's why when the APC comes to power, you see Madingo Manso, Yalunka, Fula, Timini, Limba, Loko, everybody's in power. So when the SLPP is in power, so now they should look and say, okay, we get a certain quota from the southeastern part of the country, we get from the northwestern part of the country. At least it be certain, 30% from the southeast and the 70% from the north, because you get an equitable system. But that is not what we have. So Shaka Stevens came and did the same thing where Albert Magai do, because again the system has been corrupted. Albert Magai corrupts the system. Shaka Stevens can't take him over. Guys, let me go to 106. This is all. You guys will read these things later, because this live I'm going to round up now. I'm rounding up now with the live, okay? But I want you guys to see this. 106. Stevens created the Internal Security Unit, ISU, a paramilitary police force. What's in Madabiodu? We are not sure how the forest got them. Now, Paso will make noise and tell and say it's unconstitutional, because the Constitution of Sierra Leone makes provision for only one military, and that is in section 165 of the Constitution, of 1991 Constitution. Only one military. Any other faction like the Kamajors and all this, they are not legitimate, and it's a crime. It is a crime to have any other military or militia group in Sierra Leone. We only have one military. So when I say forest guard and all that nonsense, it was a crime. Now, Stevens created the Internal Security Unit, the paramilitary force, which was more heavily equipped than the National Army and whose members were absolutely loyal to the APC. Why? Because Albert Magai created that environment. Albert Magai used the military, involved the military. Albert Magai now introduced the military into power, into politics. So now, bad example, bad precedents. Don't follow. Shaka Stevens himself, he said, I have to protect myself. Tell me, why wouldn't you do that? But if we had a system where everybody respected the Constitution and respected everybody else, Albert Magai not became with all the terrible things there, Sierra Leone would have been a wonderful country by this time. Sierra Leone too rich for all people in the suffer, they can't suffer so. So look up, Shaka Stevens himself, he form your military. Because what you do, Albert Magai, we don't bring Inga Norman, Brigadier Lanson at them, some other ranks that we don't come, when they can overthrow. So he got for protect himself, now he got for form your military. Now he bring the rebel war in 1991. Do you understand the logic? So when I played the audio of Kade Yunkela when he was doing all these things, he was saying what he was saying, I want you guys to see that if Kade Yunkela was consistent in that speech and take actions behind that, Sierra Leone today, other people would not have gotten away with everything they've gotten away with. These are the things I want to open up your eyes to, guys. Let's read this side. Let's finish this one here. Let's finish this live. So ISU recruits were chosen from the ranks of minority ethnic groups like Koranko and Limba. The current Inspector General of the Police Service, in his testimony before the Commission, described the ISU, which later became the Special Security Division, SSD, in the following terms. Hello, Sio. This was how they described it. Waiting to, because Shaka Stevens had to protect himself from these SLPP ingrates, maybe just to overthrow how they want. Now listen to this. The ISU group was feared even by police commissioners, which eroded the basic rules of discipline within the force. A de facto force within a force was created, just like the Kamajors, which bore little or no allegiance to the Sierra Leone police. This divided loyalty greatly affected the cohesiveness of the police, resulting in maladministration, inefficiency as a direct consequence of such maladministration became prevalent. Wanna see? This was how Shaka Stevens had to protect himself. Because everything the SLPP is doing now, the next government would want to do the same thing, because they have to protect themselves. We know the military has been corrupted. You guys that listen to Comrade Koita's analysis about the military every now and again, you know these guys have taken tribalism into the military. The police, when I see the activities of the police, of the military, beating people up, police violence across the country. You guys see all of those things? I'm not making it up. But these are the realities. And that is why we have to speak up about these things. I can show you guys videos upon videos of police brutality. One typical example is this. Look at what's in this guy they do to this lady. Guys, picture this level of police brutality and violence. This guy, I'm sure, is a fractured lady in his skull, but I've never heard anything from this lady. Anybody who sabi this lady, do I want to try, let reach out. Let we know this lady in condition. Let we know this lady in situation. But this is the level of police brutality. Why? Shaka Stevens has to protect himself because Albert Magai started. Albert Magai started this whole thing, and now the SLPP is in power, and the members of parliament are sitting there tolerating all this foolishness. The human rights violations across the country, arresting people arbitrarily, using vigilantes to arrest people. People cannot speak up. If you speak up, you're getting arrested. City Tunis of the APC spoke up at 98.1. Then they go arrest him, waiting because he says he's going to mobilize his people. He was arrested when the same Marabio, but they talk tough. Marabio, they talk tough. Flaria, Marabio. They talk tough. Nobody arrested him. Lyle or Slima, all of these people talk tough. When I listen to Marabio now.
The consequences for the country if that will happen, if the elections will be really postponed.
Very dire consequences, as you know. We are all set. We've been preparing for this for the past 5 years, and everything is set. We have international observers here. Quite a lot of money has been spent for this particular occasion, and we see no reason why it should be postponed. The only reason that is there is because the president wants to postpone. But we have the constitution, and there is no reason why it should not be held on the 27th. I will not hesitate to call the people of this country to come out and defend peace, security, and the democracy we have fought for. I didn't fight for democracy alone. This whole nation fought for it. And I think we should rise up to make sure that democracy is maintained.
Mr. Tunis, people concerned about this third layer of the approach of the APC. Whose format did it take, though it's in a peaceful approach?
Third layer is the people taking back their power.
In which means?
Under direct leadership. I just tell you, lawful means. Now elections will they can't go to so. And this is time for people for speak and then get for speak. And let me say this, that nobody no go stop them from speaking. When the people speak, waiting they say go be reflected. And that is we own responsibility as opposition party, that when the people speak, their voice reflected, and we go ensure say their voice reflected. Nobody no go taint their voice.
Somebody go say the government in power come through the ballot box, and you talking about the third approach for make people take back their power. You they refer to the ballot box or
I make us say law for me.
It is always the duty of the military to intervene to protect this constitution. And let me come, please. Lima.